I am commenting on this after watching several videos on YouTube, especially the one where they have shown a policewoman, a traffic policewoman, being chased by plainclothes detectives from Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. I am talking as a former police officer, especially being a former detective. I'm also talking as a parent. I'm also talking as a friend, and I'm also talking as a Kenyan, a human being. The lady and other corrupt police officers are as guilty as hell, and no amount of defending them would correct their wrongdoing. But the Constitution and the law of Kenya defends an accused person. You are not guilty until you are proven guilty by a competent court of law. I am aware of certain cases where there was a case where an OCS was arrested in his own police station in full. These people came with cameras. They arrested him, placed him in the cells of the same police station where he is the OCS. I am also aware of a recent case, I think it is Kayole, where an OCS organized for people who are drinking to be arrested over the weekend and placed in cells. And then he organized to relatives of those who have been arrested to bribe him. And he was arrested, and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission arrested him. I'm not defending any criminal. Actually, the work of a police officer is to counter criminals and not become a criminal himself or herself. But the way the Ethics and Anti-Corruption are doing it, yes, by so doing, makes it even a police officer to think twice before being bribed. But this police officer is a human being. And the law says that unless and until a competent court of law finds him or her guilty of bribery, he or she is innocent, and he or she has some rights. I was imagining that a child who has access to social media goes to the social media, sees his or her mother lying on the ground, being dragged, being carried the way police officers carry people, the bottom up. You hold the belt and raise the person. I'm imagining that child, even before he or she knows that the parent has been arrested, the whole country knows. The child, he or she knows through social media that the parent has been jailed. The parent that, since the child was born, has always known that the mother is a police officer. Suddenly knowing through the social media, obviously a few minutes after all Kenyans have known, knowing that my mother will no longer be a police officer, my mother will no longer provide for us, my mother is, at best, is sacked, at worst, she's going to jail. Now telling that student, that child, assuming that child is in the institution of learning, how will her or his education be affected. I would call upon the, of course I'm a former detective, I would call upon these people. There is a right to cause a scene so as to discourage, but also this person is a human being. She has let herself down. Please don't let herself down more. Do it properly, record it properly. But the recording, if it has to go to social media, let it be blurred. I mean, if you arrest a police officer and hide his or her face, just the way you would do when there is a scene where an underage child is concerned, why don't you do that to a police officer? So that the tape is, okay, Constable so-and-so, Jane, Margaret, whatever, they have been arrested. What difference is it by even showing, just proving that 7 or 8 traffic police officers have been arrested? Why do you expose the face of that person? After all, if I wanted to know the face of that person, you will take that person to court. And immediately after that person has been convicted by a competent and compellant court of law, then you are free to take it to social media and now expose the face. Because by then, her children have already come to accept the inevitable. But showing that person and the lady crying, Mungu wangu nimefanya nini? You are not just punishing her, you are punishing her children. And my question to the ethics and anti-corruption, what have the kids done to deserve this? I was sacked from the police unfairly. I have brought up my children, but I know how children of the affected officers grow up to be. As I talk now, 2 of my kids are in the universities. I was even talking to one that once you graduate, join the military as a graduate cadet officer. And they all tell me that, Daddy, what the police did for you, I can never want to associate myself with the police service. Now, you are raising up. My father was a police officer. My father was also a detective. And my father was very known. Actually, these road signs you see, the traffic road sign, they were relaunched. The last time they were relaunched was in 1974. And who is the person who went to the VOK? Nowadays it's called KBC. Now who is the officer who went to KBC stations to relaunch them? My father. We grew up admiring the police force. I became a police officer. I have a brother who is up to now still, up to the time I'm recording this, a police officer. Those days, the way the police were being treated, encouraged us to like, and I was a Form 6, and in the days when even Form 4s, joining the police was a problem, I admired it and insisted on joining it. My brother also joined the police service, and he is still a police officer up to the time of recording. Why did we like the police work? It is because of the decorum that the police held then. But if you continue arresting officers, I have shown you with my own kids would only say that they would not want to be associated with the police service. Is that the way you want to do it? Is that the way to encourage? Yes, I know it is not easy. It is not easy to balance the two, but do it wisely. Please do it so that future generations are like my generation, where we grew up admiring the police service. Even as I record this, I have no regrets. I decided I liked the police services when I was in Standard 1, second term. That was May Day 1968, when my father was the parade commander at Mombasa Municipal Stadium and Jomo Kenyatta was the reviewing officer. Please assist the current generation of youths who are sons and daughters of police officers to like the police service. Thank you.